I passed my UK driving test first time in April 2025, and in this video I want to share some tips and tricks on how to get a driving license if you live in the UK. My name is Lily, I'm originally from Ukraine, and on this channel I generally talk about English learning. So if you are learning English and trying to improve your English, please feel free to stick around and subscribe to this channel. If you're just here to get some tips on how to get your driving license, that's fine. Just hit that like button below if you find this video useful. I'm going to walk you through the whole process from step number 1 to actually getting a driving license, and I'm also going to share some thoughts on how you can save time and money when you're preparing to get your driving license in the UK. Gov.uk website is really helpful when it comes to understanding steps that you need to take in order to get your driving license in the UK. So the first step is to get your provisional license. This step is really easy. You fill out a form online and the provisional license is mailed to you within maybe 7 or 10 days. Once you have your provisional license, you can actually start your driving lessons straight away. However, from my experience, I didn't feel ready, because I'd never driven before. So I was getting my driving license from scratch. Never driven a car back at home in Ukraine or here. So I was a newbie and I didn't feel comfortable going into the car. Maybe that's just me, but I wouldn't recommend it, especially if you are a bit scared of driving to start with. What I did instead is actually start preparing for my theory test first, and I was doing it fully in the app called Driving Theory Test 4-in-1 Kit. This is an official app and this is literally all you need. You have to pay a little bit of money, I think it's £5, but it has all the possible questions that you can get on the theory test. Of course, some of the questions are paraphrased, but all in all, this app is the only thing that you really need in order to prepare for and pass your driving test, your theory test. Now, there are lots of ways to use this app, and some people prefer to go through highway code and read the rules, study the road signs, and then go through the questions. What I would recommend, and what I did myself to save time, is to actually go to the questions straight away and try to answer them even if you've never driven a car before, like me. Whenever you answer the question incorrectly, you can flag it and then you can review those flagged questions only. A lot of questions in the app are actually pretty easy and pretty straightforward if you just can think logically. Of course, when it comes to road signs or markings, that's something you need to study more. But again, if you flag those difficult questions and just study those questions which you don't know the answers to, you're gonna save so much time. It really depends on you and on your situation when you want to start driving lessons. I started mine only after I've completed maybe 50-60% of my theory app. I felt more comfortable then and I wasn't afraid to be on the road as much as I would had I started earlier. But of course, if you're pressed for time, feel free to start earlier, feel free to start straight away after getting your provisional license. I do not recommend to pass your theory test before taking any driving lessons because the theory test expires in 2 years and we do not want that extra pressure of knowing that your theory test is about to expire while you're still learning to drive. So my recommendation is to start studying for the theory test, study a little bit until you feel more or less comfortable, and then you start preparing for your actual practical test at the same time. Now, when it comes to driving lessons, there are plenty of choices. Driving schools tend to be pretty booked up. So I went for a BSM driving school because honestly, that was the only one that I found that had some availability when I wanted to start driving. Here it's best just to search online, find an instructor that works for you, that is based in your location and that you actually like. I had my first driving class in September last year, 2024, and like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I got my license in April 2025. But to be honest, during that time, I've had 3 months or 2 months where I didn't have any driving lessons. So all in all, it actually took me a little bit less than that. Of course, you can easily adjust that to your own schedule, depending if you have a lot of time to get your driving license or if you need it urgently. When it comes to driving lessons, it's really individual. Your instructor will tell you when you're ready or not, and you will feel it yourself. By the time I'd done maybe 20 hours, 20, 30 hours of driving, I did not feel ready at all. And I would go online and there were all these people saying, on average, it takes about 40 hours to prepare for your driving test. I did not feel ready when I did 30 at all. So I was still scared, I was still very tense, and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna take as many lessons as I need until I really feel comfortable. Going back to my theory test, I didn't finish that. So I passed my theory test in November 2024, and straight after that I booked my driving test, so my practical test. It is very tricky to book practical tests, but there is actually one secret which can help you book a slot. It's not going to save you a lot of time. Unfortunately, it does not guarantee that you will get a slot very close, but at least you do not have to stay up every Monday or every day at midnight to try to book your slot, because they go so quickly. If you go into the comments right now, there is a link there to an extension on Google which will book your slot automatically for you. It will reserve a slot and then you can either confirm or not. That's how I booked my test. I did not want to stay up and book in the middle of the night. So please, it's free, enjoy and save your time, save your sleep. Fast forward to the day of my actual exam. So I was feeling nervous. I was feeling a little bit stressed, but I had my chocolate in the morning. I had my banana and I was praying. I was praying, hoping that I will pass. I did feel ready, but I'd say I felt about 90% ready. I was feeling quite confident on the roads. I was not stressing about roundabouts anymore. But of course, the test nerves, they are still test nerves. I had this trick in my head. When I had the examiner sitting right next to me, right? It's a person I've never seen before. I'm not going to see him again. And he has this yellow jacket. I just tricked myself into believing that this is my friend or, an acquaintance, and I'm giving him a lift somewhere. That's it. That calmed me down and I wasn't so stressed while I was driving. The test itself only takes about half an hour. Just try to drive normally and remember to drive safe and legal. These two things, they are the most essential things that the examiners are looking for. One more thing I need to mention is throughout my preparation to get my driving license, I spent quite a lot of time on YouTube watching YouTube videos about driving, including mock tests, including just driving instructors showing me stuff. Down below in the caption, I will mention the channels that have helped me a lot. There are dozens of them online, but I'll only leave those ones which I would watch all the time, and I found them the most useful in my own journey. My driving test was easier than I expected it to be, and I had 6 minors, 0 dangerous faults and 0 serious faults, obviously. If you pass your driving test, you get your license really quickly. I got mine probably in under 4 days. So that was it. If you have any other questions which I haven't talked about in this video, please leave me a comment down below and I will answer them. And if you already have your driving license, please also comment and leave your tips and tricks to help others get their driving license. I hope this video was useful. Leave it a like and good luck with your driving test.